Some crimes are about money, and others, well, they're about opportunity. But the truly legendary ones, they're always about time. Today, we're going to break down the anatomy of a heist so perfectly planned, so incredibly audacious, that the whole thing was designed to last just 4 minutes. Let's dive in.
So, let's set the scene. It's a crisp autumn morning in Paris, October 19th, 2025. The iconic glass pyramid of the Louvre is just starting to catch that beautiful dawn light. You've got tourists milling about, guards changing shifts. It's a picture of total peace and history. But underneath all that calm, a clock is already ticking.
All right, so every great operation, it doesn't start with a bang. It starts with stillness. This first phase is all about those final moments of planning, the mental game, and that quiet electric tension right before the storm hits.
Picture this. Inside a totally nondescript van parked just off the main street, 3 men are just watching. There's no chatter, no nervous energy, just pure, intense focus. You can almost feel it in the air. Their entire world has shrunk down to that one building and the prize waiting inside. One of them glances at his watch, and the mission is spoken out loud, almost like a prayer. 4 minutes. That's it. 240 seconds. It's not just a schedule. It's the one and only rule. It's this razor-thin line between pulling it off and total disaster. The sheer guts of it is just breathtaking.
And with that one little line, suddenly you get it. This isn't just about the jewels, is it? This is about legacy. In their minds, they aren't just thieves. They're trying to carve their names into the history books forever.
So, the big question, how in the world do you get inside one of the most secure buildings on the planet, in broad daylight? Well, you don't break the rules, you just bend them. Let's look at how they plan to pull this off. Okay, the genius here is in the simplicity. Their cover is just brilliant. They aren't lurking in the shadows, they are hiding right out in the open. Posing as renovation team number 7, they use the normal, everyday chaos of construction work as the perfect camouflage. To any guard watching, they're just a few more workers in a city that's always being fixed up.
And this is their whole philosophy, the key to the entire plan. The Louvre, it protects its art with transparency, with glass walls, glass cases. But these guys, they don't see a barrier. They see an invitation. They're going to use the museum's own openness against it. And this shows you exactly how they did it. This isn't some smash and grab. This is surgery. You can see it right here in these 4 steps. A cherry picker lift gets them right up to a first-floor window. Then, a high-frequency grinder makes a perfect, silent cut. It actually vibrates the glass apart instead of shattering it. The pane is pushed in, and they just slip inside like ghosts. No alarms, no noise. Incredible.
And just like that, they're in. The disguises worked, the entry was absolutely flawless. But now, the real test begins. The timer starts, and the 4-minute job is officially on.
And there it is. The clock is on. Every single second from this moment on has been planned down to the millisecond. There is zero room for error. The pressure must have been immense.
So what are they after? Not just any old shiny rocks. They're in the Apollo Gallery, and they're targeting 2 of the most famous pieces from the French crown jewels. On the left, you've got the emerald set of Empress Marie-Louise, and on the right, Empress Eugenie's sapphire tiara. These things aren't just gems. They're centuries of French history. They are physical symbols of monarchy and empire, and they are worth an absolute fortune.
Inside, their movements are apparently like a perfectly choreographed dance. They're using diamond-tipped cutters on the cases, which don't make a sound because they literally score the glass at a molecular level for a clean break. Every single move is fluid, rehearsed, efficient. Not one wasted motion as they scoop the jewels into these velvet bags.
But, of course, no plan is ever truly perfect. Down in the security room, a guard notices a split-second flicker on one of his monitors. Just a tiny flash of movement. It's enough to make him wonder what he saw, but before he can even really register it, the feed is back to normal. He just writes it off as a glitch, never realizing he'd just watched them slip past a 4-second security loop they'd installed. That was a catastrophically close call. Meanwhile, back in the gallery, that timer is just screaming toward 0. 22 seconds left. They have the main targets, but that temptation to just grab one more thing, it's gotta be powerful. This is the exact moment where greed destroys even the most brilliant plans. And in that one moment, discipline wins out. One of the thieves actually drops a crown,
It makes this faint crack on the marble floor. The instinct, of course, is to grab it, but the leader makes the call. They stick to the plan. You know, psychologically, this is where most heists fall apart, that last-minute reach for more. But not them. They chose the escape over one more prize. Getting the goods is only half the job, right? Now comes the most critical part of any heist, the getaway. I mean, how do you just vanish from the very center of Paris in the middle of the day? Their escape is just as clean as their entry. They slip right back out the window, hop into their van, and just drive away, blending right into the morning traffic. But they're not done. A few blocks later, they ditch the van for a couple of motorbikes, completely changing their profile before just melting into the city's maze of streets. Gone.
The final time on the stopwatch, 4 minutes and 12 seconds. They were only 12 seconds over their impossible deadline. It's just a stunning testament to their planning and their nerve. The job is done. The alarms do eventually go off, but of course, it's way too late. The thieves are long gone, and the world is left to figure out what in the world just happened. This is the aftermath. This quote from the lead detective on the scene, it just says everything. He's kneeling by that single abandoned crown they left on the floor. It perfectly captures the scale of the loss. It's not just about money, it's about history. 800 years of heritage vanished in the time it takes to make a cup of coffee.
And then the news just explodes. It's the lead story everywhere on the planet. The value is estimated at around 88 million euros, but really, the cultural cost is just, you can't even measure it. A massive worldwide manhunt is launched by Interpol. But the thieves, they're ghosts.
And finally, we get a glimpse of the thieves themselves, just sitting by the River Seine later that night. They know they pulled it off. But they also seem to understand the sheer weight of what they've done. They wanted to make history, and they did. But as one of them says, history has a very, very long memory.
In the end, the jewels were never found. The thieves were never caught. Their story became a kind of modern legend. And it really makes you wonder, what is it about a perfect crime that we find so captivating? Is it the genius of the plan, the audacity of it all? Or is it just the thrill of seeing someone actually achieve the impossible?